means it has a soul. It has life, it can feel, it can sense, it can think. That's why if it sees danger, it will run. If it sees something good, it goes to it. Okay? The difference between man and animal. It is the blessing of God that He put on man. The authority that God put on man. The power that God put on man. Because if you look at that verse, it says, let us create him in our image, in our likeness. But what is that image? That he may rule. That he may have dominion. This realm was so subjected under man that when man fell, the whole realm was corrupt. The whole realm was destroyed. That's how much of power, of dominion that God had put on man. That's how much God had subjected the realm under man. The whole purpose, the whole image of God in a man, it is about the purpose. It is about the mission, what God has assigned on his life. It is the exact same thing in God. When we look at the spirit realm, the spirit realm is full of angels. What are angels? Angels are spirits. Demons are spirits. And in the angelic, can I say a realm, or in the spirit realm, yes, in the spirit realm, there are different kinds of creatures. There are different kinds of creatures, and all of them are spirit. Because what is in that realm, it is a realm. It's a spirit realm. And in that realm is where God is as well. But that realm is totally subjected under God. The spirit realm is totally subjected under God. Nothing happens there without God. Nothing goes on without God. God is all in all. He's in everything. So God was replicating that in this dimension that he had made. He had created everything, but there was no replica of him to take that dominion, to take that power, that authority, to bring multiplication in this realm and in this dimension. There was no creature that could do that. And so it necessitated for God to create a creature that would do that. And that creature was man. That brings me to another point. In verse 7 of chapter 2 of Genesis, the Bible tells us, you can go and have a look on it. The Bible tells us that God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. So God took mud and built a form. Okay? He built a form. Once he built that form, out of the dust of the ground, he breathed into that form the breath of life. And when the breath of life entered into that form became animate. That form became conscious. That form had movements. That form had feeling and emotion. Bible tells us that when he breathed into that form, the breath of life, a man rose up. That form became alive. And the form was called a soul. God in the spirit realm created another realm that is not spirit. And he needed a creature that could operate and function in this realm, the same way that he functions in his spirit realm. And so when he created this man, he did not create him as spirit. He created him according to the realm he was creating him in. And this realm was being governed by Adam, who was a living soul, not a spirit. Because if he's a spirit, then he has to live this side in the other realm. But this man is created to live in his realm and to have dominion in his realm, to be a God in his realm. So there is no way that Adam could be spirit. That is why we are told that in the cool of the day, God will come. Where was he coming from? Where was God coming from? To have fellowship. Do we mean to say that God goes to every angel to have fellowship? No, because it's spirit. He is in everything. God is in everything. Jesus the Son shines. He is in everything. The fact that God would have to come to Adam, it means that he was not in the same realm with God. And he was not operating in the same realm with God. I hope you are getting it. I hope you are understanding it. The image of God in a human being was not the physique, was not the putting together of the mud and the breathing in of the breath of life. The image was this, that man is gonna do in his realm what God is doing in his realm. But mind you, because God is high, in the realm of the spirit, God is higher, more, he's glorious. There is no one that compares. There is no spirit being that compares with God. No spirit being is in the level of God or in the class of God, because there are classifications of every being that is in the spirit. There are classifications, and there is a purpose to each classification. But God is the highest. That's why he is the most high. In the realm of the spirit, none is above him. And so if the spirit realm is subject to him, then you know for sure also the realm that God was creating was also going to be subject to him, but through Adam. Because if Adam, who is the governing principle of the entire realm, is under subject to God, that means then the whole realm is in God's subjection. So, from the creation, the Bible says that man became a living soul. The breath of life that God breathed into him was the breath of life was just to give him life, to give him existence. Okay? But because it proceeded from God, it gave him that consciousness of God. It gave him that moral consciousness so that through that he could perceive God. He could hear when God was coming and therefore have a conversation with him. It was a very It was the link between the soul and the spirit realm. That was the link. The breath of life that God put in Adam. And that is what gave him sustenance. That is what gave him sustenance. In the book of Hebrews, chapter 2 and verse 6, and also in Psalms chapter 8 and verse 5, we see David speaking by the Spirit. The Bible says, "What is a man that you are so mindful of him? The Son of Man, that you visit him." What is a man that you are so mindful of him? It says you have made him a little lower than the angels. You have made him a little lower than the angels. I want you to pay attention to this. This exclamation comes from the knowledge that man is just dust, nothing more than dust. And so the author is wondering, what is a man? What is this that you are so mindful of it? It is just dust, but you are very mindful of it. What is a man? Then that statement making a reference to his to his nature, he says, you have made him a little lower than the angels. That tells you what man is. You have made him a little lower than the angels. We all know that angels are spirit beings. But God created a creature that had never been there before. That was a living soul. And so it's like this creature is even below. But you are very mindful. You are very mindful of man. But his glory is lesser than that of the angels. Why is the glory lesser? Because he is not spirit, he is a soul. You know, the lesser always fears. The higher or the stronger, the better. Every time angels appeared to somebody, they had to tell them that fear not. I do not think that every time you meet your brother or your sister on the way, you run in terror. Every time you walk and you see a human being, you are totally terrified. It doesn't happen. Unless in abnormal circumstances. But